Much to the surprise of many, including myself, not only are we getting a new Zelda game on the Nintendo Switch as it's waltzing out the door, but it is a game that is finally an actual Zelda game featuring Zelda as the main protagonist. This game looks awesome and is definitely another welcome spin on the established take of the Zelda series, but from what we already know about the game, there's still a lot we don't, and like all Zelda fans, we have a ton of burning questions. But one of the biggest is where this game will take place in the Zelda timeline. After the advent of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom's continued ambiguous placement within the end of the Zelda timeline, this game definitely looks like it's going to have an established place within the rich tapestry of Zelda's history. But where exactly? Don't worry, the clues from the trailer and the latest info on the established timeline of events may have already told us the answer. What's up everyone, it's HMK once again with another Zelda video, and I am super excited for Echoes of Wisdom. This game is going to be a big deal for many reasons, so be sure to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Let's dive directly into the noise. Without beating around the bush, let's get the cat out of the bag. I believe that The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is a direct sequel to The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, placing it within the Downfall timeline and now makes this game the third within a series of events that started with A Link to the Past. Now I know what you must be thinking. You got questions on several fronts on that statement. The first is that you're probably thinking, wait, the third game after A Link to the Past? Is there more, namely the Oracle games? Well, originally, the Zelda Timeline, when it was revealed in Hyrule Historia, it was established that the Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages takes place right after A Link to the Past that features the same Link, with Link's Awakening taking place after the Oracle games, which features Link's attempt to return to Hyrule until he was shipwrecked on Konolet Island. That was the story, until the timeline was updated in Zelda Encyclopedia, in which the Oracle games are now placed after Link's Awakening and now feature a different Link entirely for those adventures. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, another question you might have is the most obvious to the obvious, and that is Echoes of Wisdom features an art style that is identical to that of the Link's Awakening remake. So you would think that it is easy to say that, off that alone, that this game is a direct sequel to Link's Awakening, when in Zelda's past, there are games that have repeated art styles that are not direct sequels, and there are direct sequels that have different art styles, like Triforce Heroes. But no, there is more to the idea that this is indeed a direct sequel, while at the same time using the same art style would be an easy indicator. But from what we saw in the trailer in terms of this version of Hyrule, in multiple shots, it becomes extremely clear that this Hyrule is indeed the same layout as the kingdom as it's presented in A Link to the Past and A Link Between Worlds, showing that we are indeed returning to this version of Hyrule for an unprecedented third time. Well, not chronologically, but you know what I mean. So from all this preliminary analysis, I think it becomes abundantly clear that Nintendo's strategy is not only to return to the art style and return to this Hyrule, but to return to this point in time when it comes to this particular story of Link and Zelda, in which The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is set directly after Link's Awakening in the Downfall timeline and tells the story of events where Link returns to Hyrule and finds that Princess Zelda has been captured by Ganon, who somehow returned. We're gonna tackle that later, and that the game begins with his mission to rescue her. Like, I can literally imagine it now, the game beginning. In the kingdom of Hyrule, peace can be lasting or fleeting. When a hero returns from a personal journey at sea, he realized the peace he left behind was not to be, and instantly sets off to save a close friend from a familiar foe. And once again, you would think, wait a minute, if this is taking place right after Link's Awakening, in which it is now positioned to be the direct sequel to A Link to the Past, how is Ganon back? Why doesn't Link use the Master Sword? Well, aside from the idea that the Master Sword was put back to sleep forever, which turned out to be a lie, there is a lot of unknown factors that we can theorize so much on. But one idea in my head is that the Ganon that we see in the trailer and in the box art, etc., isn't truly Ganon, or rather, it isn't him fully or completely, possibly a fractured version of himself that lingered, that has the potential to fracture others, as we have seen with the tears in the void that plagued Hyrule after Link defeated him. One thing I will say that could be explained rather well, in fact, is how this could link to A Link Between Worlds, as within A Link to the Past, Link, wielding the Master Sword and the Silver Arrows, was able to destroy Ganon and reclaim the entire Triforce, which he used to restore Hyrule and the lives lost during Ganon's Dark Campaign. With the Triforce intact, Link set off on a journey at sea that would lead to the events of Link's Awakening. But then, sometime afterwards, the Oracle games occur and the complete Triforce sends the Link of that time to his adventures in Labrynna and Holodrum. And after the complete end of Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, the Triforce is seen as dividing by becoming 3 birds and flying off into the unknown. Now, see, that part wasn't the issue. The issue lied within the game that would follow in that timeline, A Link Between Worlds, which takes place many years afterwards. It is described in the footnotes of that story that the Triforce would separate after the events of A Link to the Past, which is accounted for in the Oracle games. But what isn't is that Ganon was apparently sealed in darkness, and due to that, he was able to claim the Triforce of Power after the Triforce split, as it sought him out, being the entity that represented the virtue the most of power. Which is true across the Zelda games, but how was Ganon able to exist in darkness after being destroyed by Link in A Link to the Past, and by technical extension, the Oracle games? Well, before you say it was like a reincarnation waiting room, which kinda does make sense, I think it will be explained in Echoes of Wisdom, as we see Ganon, or I should say his trident, possibly acting as the cause to what could be darkness afflicting the land of Hyrule with all of the terrors in reality. It is due to that I believe that this game, Echoes of Wisdom, will elaborate on how Ganon, well, for starters, returned and then eventually gets sealed in the darkness that is plaguing Hyrule to set him up in the background of events leading into A Link Between Worlds. And then it would all make sense. So with that being said, that is where I think Echoes of Wisdom will take place in the Zelda timeline and why. And you wanna know a fun fact? Even though it felt like forever between the release of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, 6 years, it's actually been 5 years between that of the Link's Awakening remake and Echoes of Wisdom. But it doesn't feel that long because Echoes of Wisdom was announced literally months before it comes out. But I want to know what you guys think about the possible timeline placement of Echoes of Wisdom. Where do you think it falls in the Zelda timeline? Leave your thoughts, theories, and more in the comment section below. Until the next Zelda video, this has been your boy HMK, and I'll check you guys later.